I feel bad for the people of Israel because they're being tortured by this God. This God who's like, you're my favorite people. Hey folks, welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel and I read Bible so that you don't have to. And we are at Numbers 20. Numbers 19, did you watch that? I didn't watch that. Don't watch that. That's boring. That's no good. That's just a waste of everyone's time. But this one, oh my goodness, Numbers 20? This one's going to be something special. It's going to certainly say amazing. Watch to the end, because at the end of it, we're going to get to the final verse of this chapter, and then it's going to be over. So if you're enjoying it or not enjoying it right from the beginning, just you wait. You won't believe what you enjoy or don't enjoy later on. And then ultimately it will end. So then you won't have to watch it anymore. So just keep watching until it's just not there to be watched anymore, because it will be there until it's not anymore. So just enjoy that or don't enjoy that while it's there. Trying to do the engagement thing where I like hook you. I want to hook you in. The only thing is I don't know what's in the chapter and I don't know if it's going to be any good. So I don't want to, give you too much false hope. But the thing is that we're reading Bible, we have to do it. Let's get right into it before you stop watching and click and go watch something better. Numbers chapter 20. The children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month. Interesting. We moved out of the wilderness of Sinai. This is progress. This is fun. The people stayed in Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. Miriam, she danced around. She had a great time singing. She was the one, I think, that wrote Exodus chapter 15, the musical number there. Then she had to get leprosy because she asked a question of Moses. I actually don't even remember what the question was. I just remember that she got leprosy and Aaron didn't, and now she's dead. But she was a prophetess. So never forget that. She's the one woman prophetess. I don't know if there's going to be another one, but there's a woman who has a name and is something other than just someone's mom, and that is Miriam. There was no water for the congregation. They assembled themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. The people quarreled with Moses and spoke, saying, "We wish that we had died when our brothers died before Yahweh. Why have you brought Yahweh's assembly into this wilderness, that we should die there, we and our animals? Why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us into this evil place? It is no place of seed or of figs or of vines or of pomegranates. Neither is there any water to drink." So Zin is a bit of a wasteland. That's what's happening there. And this is, by the way, just kind of a repeat of that other chapter. I think it was in Exodus somewhere where they didn't have water. They had a stream of water, but it was bitter, and they had to throw a piece of wood in it, and it wasn't bitter anymore. So this is kind of just a repeat of that, where they're just like, we need water. What's going to happen? We don't got no water. And that's because the Bible has tropes, and they're not that creative. They don't know how to write stories that have that much variety in them, because there's only so many problems that a group of 2 million people in a desert can have, apparently. And not having water is going to be a massive concern, and probably absolutely ridiculous to imagine that these people would have survived. But anyway, that's not for me to decide. That's for the scientists and the the Christians who have faith and will believe anything that they read. Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tent of meeting and fell on their faces. Yahweh's glory appeared to them. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the rock before their eyes, that it pour out its water. You shall bring water to them out of the rock, so you shall give the congregation and their livestock drink." So Moses is going to just say a kind, calm word to a rock, and water is going to pour out of it. Again, what we get all the time, this is all the time, is Yahweh giving people unnecessary, arbitrary chores, right? Obviously, he could just like materialize water. He could have stacks of, canteens, or all of a sudden a river. You know how he's following with a cloud? There could be just a river always following, like just always with them. Just like materializing as they go. No chores, just like get some water, drink some water. But instead he's like, hey, Moses, why don't you speak to the rock? I'm going to show off. It's always Yahweh showing off too. He's always like, I'm going to do something cool. Just like talk to a rock and then I'll give you water. Just in the nick of time before everyone dies of dehydration. Moses took the rod from before Yahweh as he commanded him. Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels. Shall we bring water out of this rock for you?" Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock with his rod twice, and water came out abundantly. The congregation and their livestock drank. So Moses is being a bit of a drama queen. I don't know why he's so mad at them. Like, these people are on the edge. They are so irritable. Yahweh and Moses are just always like ready to fight, ready to scrap. You know what I mean? The congregation is like, oh, we want meat. Yahweh's like, I'll give you meat. You think you can ask for meat? I'll kill you with meat. I'll shove it down your throat till it comes out your nose, right? Calm down. What is it? They're just asking for meat. In this case, they're like, we're thirsty. And Moses is like, you guys want water? Instead of talking nicely to a rock, I'm going to smash it. There's no reason to be this mad. And to call them rebels, they're thirsty. You need water to live. I know that they got to let it out of hand. They're thirsty, so they're like, we could use seed, figs, vines, or pomegranates, Okay, fine. They were asking for maybe a bit too much in your view because, God, he can only supply so many quail. He's limited. He's obviously so limited. But to get this angry, I think, is a little over the top. Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, because you didn't believe me to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. So what, he didn't believe him because he didn't say the words and he hit the thing instead? Like, what's the not believing? He obviously knows that water is going to come out of the rock. He did believe that. He's punishing him for not just speaking to the rock. Well, not speaking to the rock at all and hitting it instead, that he still believed that there was going to be water there. So I think this is fairly petty on the part of Yahweh, but what's new? Also, the punishment is a punishment we've already seen. Like, we saw that when they were too scared. Yahweh was like, fine, none of you guys get to go into Canaan. Your next generation will. A little weird, a little petty, very, I guess, wrathful, vengeful, annoying. These are the waters of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with Yahweh, and he was sanctified in them. Yahweh was sanctified? What does sanctified mean? Like, I don't know what these words mean. Like, I feel like you think you know what they mean. Like, someone needs to be sanctified, but like, Yahweh was sanctified in the children of Israel? What's that mean? What could that possibly mean? If anybody knows what Yahweh being sanctified could possibly mean, please put it in the comments. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom, saying, your brother Israel says, you know all the travail that has happened to us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we lived in Egypt for a long time. The Egyptians mistreated us and our fathers. When we cried to Yahweh, he heard our voice, sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Behold, we are in Kadesh, a city at the edge of your border. Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through field or through vineyard, neither will we drink from the water of the wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn away to the right nor to the left until we have passed your border. If you don't understand that, you can just read it, because that is Moses' accent, which I feel a little strange because I know that I'm getting that wrong, because Moses was raised by Egyptians. So for him to be so very Yiddish, I don't think is going to be accurate. It's probably more of a Joshua accent or Aaron, probably actually a perfect accent for Aaron. But Aaron doesn't really say enough. So now that I've committed to Moses having that kind of accent, unfortunately, that's how it's got to be. So please forgive me, but that's how Moses talks. But this is fun. So they're trying to pass through, doing a bit of a shortcut, passing through Kadesh. But let's see what the king of Edom says. Edom said to him, "You shall not pass through me, lest I come out with the sword against you." The children of Israel said to him, "We will go up by the highway. If we drink your water, I and my livestock, then I will give its price. Only let me, without doing anything else, pass through on my feet." So that's a younger type of Moses type of accent. He said, "You shall not pass through." Edom came out against him with many people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his borders. So Israel turned away from him. Any guess what is going to befall Edom, the Edomites? They're dead. They're dead meat. They are going to be destroyed at some point. I don't know when, but they're going to get them back. The Hebrews are going to get them back a big time. They traveled from Kadesh, and the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, "Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron shall be gathered, and shall die there." Whoa. All right. This chapter's hitting hard. Aaron's dying. This is a little bit disheartening because, as you may or may not remember, Moses hit the rock. Moses was the one that was like, "You guys want this water?" But Aaron's being punished, it seems, for this. Maybe not, because maybe he's super old and he wasn't going to last 40 years anyway. So God being like, "You're not going to get to go to the land," is more like, "Will not make it to the land." But he's saying this because you rebelled, but it's probably just because he's old. Hard to know. He might be a young guy that God's killing. Wouldn't put it past him. Moses did as Yahweh commanded. They went up onto Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they wept for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. That's a wild scene. I feel bad for the people of Israel. I feel bad for the kids, the children of Israel. They're not kids, but because they're just being raked over the coals here. They're being put through it. Sure, they were saved from slavery. which, by the way, doesn't seem that bad when they describe it. They're like, we ate fish all the time. Everything was perfectly fine. Once in a while, they tried to kill our newborn sons. And there was just some probably extra work we had to do or high taxes we had to pay or something. And so God was fine. He parted the Red Sea. He stopped the Amalekites from beating them and stuff like that. But he's also made them thirst and made them hunger for more than just one thing, and made them see horrific things constantly, like when the Levites had to kill 3,000 of them for the golden calf debacle, or when God burned Nadab and Abihu's face off, or when he opened the ground to swallow up a bunch of people because they were questioning the Levites, or when he force-fed them quail until they died. There's just all sorts of weird moments that these people have had to endure. People have been killed because they were like, oh no, there's giants, we're scared. You're dead. Obnoxious behavior from Yahweh that these guys have all had to witness. And this is just another version of that, because we have Aaron now being taken up to the top of a mountain where everybody can watch, being stripped of his garments. He probably is wearing underwear, but I'm going to imagine maybe he's not. He's completely naked. There's probably a breeze. It's a little cool, so he's embarrassed. And then they go, you're nothing now. You've been the head priest the whole time. You've been spraying blood, but you're done now. Eleazar's going to take over. And then they just watch him die. They just witness him die. I don't think I would not like that. I would not want to see somebody just fall dead on a mountain. That's wild. Every single person in this congregation of the children of Israel must have PTSD. I mean, even just from all the animals they constantly have to kill, and the birds that they have to rip their heads off. It's just so brutal all the way along. They just had to burn a heifer completely last chapter. I feel bad for the people of Israel, because they're being tortured by this God who's like, you're my favorite people. When women have baby girls, though, I think that's gross. If you compare that to how much, I think it's gross when they have babies, but when they have baby girls, it's double gross. Those types of things that are just you're really doing a number on these poor people. What kind of perspective must they have? You can sell your daughters. Yeah, really? Oh my goodness, we're selling daughters now? This is wild. That's Yahweh. He's a complete prick. Anyway, that was chapter 20. It was a little fun. We had a little bit of a story, and I'm grateful that we did. We'll see what happens next, because I think Moses has got to get it next, don't you think? And the king of Edom, he's going to get screwed over pretty harshly, I'm sure. Fun. What is the evil Yahweh going to get up to next? I can't believe people read this and they go, God is love. God is slow to anger and abounding. Yeah, that's what he said. But look at what he did. He's a monster. But it makes for fun stories, and I think that's why these people wrote them that way. Because people wrote them that way. All right, guys, thanks for being here. As always, please subscribe, like this video, and leave me a comment, and we'll see you next time for the 11 to 20 recap. Bye-bye.